Good evening. It is December 10th. This is the school committee meeting, and we start by reading our vision statement. The Ashland Public Schools strives to be a model district that creates a culture of inclusivity for our diverse students and staff who feel safe and supported, are empowered with the academic and social-emotional skills to pursue their chosen path, and embrace their roles as positive contributors to local and global communities. This meeting is being recorded by WACA Cable TV. Our order of business this evening is call to order, opening procedures, agenda review and adoption. I will be moving to go into executive session under Section 21A3 to conduct strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares, to return to open session. This is regarding the Ashland Educator Teachers Association Athletic and Extracurricular Stipend, MOA. We'll have time for public participation, and the reports and presentations this evening include AHS Student Advisory Council update, English Language Education update, Christy Arnold, Accept Quarter Treasurer's Financial Report, FY27 Preschool Tuition Rate Increase Recommendations, Warrant Approvals, Superintendent's Report, Assistant Superintendent's Report. And our action items this evening include Superintendent's Goals, PIDWA, Rate Increase, FY 2027, Consent Agenda, Approval of Gifts and Donations, Approval of Grant Funds Received, Minutes from October 22nd, 2025, and then we will adjourn. Is everybody okay with the order of business this evening?
Yes.
Okay, and I see Marcy, Paul, Mark, and myself. Tina will be joining us a little bit later. So I'm going to move to go into executive session under Section 21A3 to conduct strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. To return to open session, Ashland Educators Association Teachers Athletic and Extracurricular Stipend, MOA. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call? Aye. Yes?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So we just need a couple of minutes to have a quick executive session, and we'll be right back with you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, thank you, and welcome back, everybody. Thank you.
Sorry.
Do you want me to be quiet? The school committee's just returning from executive session where we voted to recommend, to accept the recommendations on adjusting the ratios for the stipended positions in the district. And now we are going to move on to public participation, whether there's anybody online or in the room that wants to add any public comment. And seeing none, hearing none, I will move on to our first category. And we might need a minute for that. Are we waiting for some other students to come? Okay. Well, how about the English language education update? Christy, are you ready for that? Awesome. Thank you. Welcome, Christy.
You sure do.
It's on.
Tell me when to push the button.
Good evening. I'm Christy Arnold, Director for English Language Education. Glad to be here again. I was here last year, I think December 11th, so I like giving my annual update. Next slide. So as usual, I will share the updates of our enrollment for our multilingual learners, our English learners, our former English learners. As you can see in the district, we have 930 students that report a primary language at home that is something other than English. That's about 31%. Of those students, 226 are in our English Learner Education Program, meaning they qualify for additional instruction in learning English. 239 are former English learners, meaning they've exited the English learner status, but they're in their first 4 years of monitoring. And then I have the breakdowns for the schools, high school, middle school, Mendez, Warren, and Pittaway. Comparing those numbers to last year, they're all about the same within 10 at each school. I think overall, we're up 2 students in the English learner category and more in the former English category. We exited about 50 students last year. Students new to U.S. schools, that's 55. Keep in mind that includes 22 kindergartners because they're all in their first year of U.S. schools. And English learners with disabilities, we're at 35 right now. Next slide. I broke down the languages. This slide has not changed much from last year. Portuguese is still our _1 language. And then we have, I think, 42 total languages spoken in the district.
Christy, is there any sort of change demographically over the last 5 or 10 years in this, or is that still pretty consistent?
I would say since I've been here, 4 years, about the same. It's about the same. Next slide. So this year I decided to give a little bit more information about our Access for EL assessment. That's the annual assessment that measures growth in English proficiency in the 4 domains: listening, speaking, reading, writing. Children can score between 1 and 6. About 4.2 is what we're looking for overall for proficiency, with a 3.9 in literacy. So in the first column where it says made attainment, those are the percentages of the ELs that are currently in the program that have made it attainment, meaning they've exited. So that's about those 50 kids that exited last year. The more important number that I'm looking at to see whether or not our EL program is successful is making progress. And the state measures making progress based on how long they've been in the United States schooling, as well as their age. So the growth targets are a little bit different based on those. Overall, they're looking for students to make that exit mark, that 4.2, within 6 years. So how much growth they need each year. So at the high school, we have 34% of students making progress towards the goal. At the middle school, 26, Mendez and Warren, 62 and 82% respectively.
Now, Christy, is that the older students on that attainment at a lower percentage due to both their age and the workloads and what they're expected to try to do
That is correct. That is correct. They have a lot more to learn in English as they get older.
It's a lot more challenging to learn.
Yes, so as you see, the numbers go
in a language you
down.
don't understand.
Right, 82% of Warren students are making progress and 9% are exiting. That means there's a lot of growth happening there, and then at Mendez the same, and then it slows down a little bit. In addition, so looking at this information, last year when I came to you, we discussed a little bit about curriculum changes that we've made, as well as using Flashlight 360 to regularly monitor growth and progress, whereas this is like a one-time a year, and that's made a huge difference, in my opinion, in how students are doing.
Yeah, I think that was one of the other things I was going to ask is, since you've taken over, I think there's been a lot of changes that you've implemented, and have we been tracking the impacts of those changes? And you know, say if it's a student that entered into Mendez, they had previously been taking X amount of time to, you know, to get it to attainment, but maybe you've made changes and the average now is less than that, or do we have any metrics that are kind of tracking how
So
the
looking at
improvements?
looking at the numbers of students making progress, it's hard to track student by student just because
They're
the
different, yeah,
variables,
yeah.
there are a lot of variables there. But looking at that making progress point, that has been going up,
Awesome.
yes. And then,
Yeah, just, do you have a sense of, excuse me, how the progress numbers compare to sort of statewide data points?
above the state average, yes. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can do the comparison.
You know, we're doing okay.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
pretty confident in that one.
I did look at that number. And so Flashlight 360 is that progress monitoring tool that I spoke about. And last year in the spring, we had a few teachers that came because they were, I forget, Flashlight honorees, if you will. As a district, we're one of the top 20 districts in the United States for growth. So we're one of the language legends. They sent us T-shirts. I meant to bring one to show it to you, but I forgot. We have T-shirts, and each of the team members got them, and lanyards and buttons, and we were definitely celebrated as one of the top 20 districts. And again, we're using this tool to provide meaningful practice for the students. We're able to give the students feedback, set goals within it, and also to inform instruction. And this is, I think, one of the pieces that has really a game changer in the work that the teachers are doing.
Do parents, like, how do you educate parents of the kids about Flashlight 360? And, like, are they able to look at any of the metrics? It's on, I'll just point it toward me. Are they able to, like, so are parents able to see, like, metrics from Flashlight 360, or is that just the instruction method?
It's the instruction method. The teachers are sharing updates, and they can share their goal sheets, and teachers are doing it differently at different levels.
Yep.
But the students understand the rubrics at this point because they're
great.
used to getting the feedback, so they know what a 1 answer is versus a 4 answer. So when we're saying say more or use vocabulary, they're understanding when we're saying, okay, this is what you need to get to the next level. And the Flashlight 360 is really helping the students understand what we're looking for in the English assessments.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Next slide. So Flashlight and access and these things at our family engagement night. So we had one at Mendez in the fall. We'll have an official LPAC meeting in the winter time. And then in the spring, there'll be another family night where we talk about the access scores as well as summer in sports programs offered in Ashland. And then I have a quick 2-minute video, hopefully. So the family night at Mendez, the students each took a part of the school to do a tour for the families, to do a video tour. And so I trimmed it down. And let's see if we gotta get the sound. Hopefully it works.
Or any other way to show the.
No, he's using a mic to do it, and, yeah, so it's not gonna.
His office, Miss Pelly is the counselor.
The sigh. And that's it. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, just similar to what we were asking her, with the, if we're seeing improvements in their level of attainment and things like that, are we also seeing a corollary, the growth in those students from, on the academic side? So are they actually able to then, get access to the curriculum better? Maybe it's not even trackable, but.
No, it's certainly trackable, and we talk about this all the time. We understand that we still have probably our biggest gaps in our achievement data is still within the majority of our subgroups in our population. So special education students continue to fall behind in some of our achievement data, as well as our English learners. And obviously that's a major focus for us. And that is going to continue to improve as things like access data does improve and the use of Flashlight 60 becomes more prevalent, and we continue to make these effective changes. But yep, it's certainly something that we're well aware of, that we continue to have gaps specifically for our English learners.
Yeah, no, I know we have gaps, but is that gap shrinking? With the improvements?
Not at the rate we like to see it right now.
Okay.
It's still a pretty large gap. I actually have some data that I'm going to be sharing with you shortly. Hopefully that will become sooner rather than later. We've have to continue to push that off, but I do have a presentation that'll be ready that will be about all of our achievement data across the district, and you'll notice that the biggest disparity right now is with our English learner population. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but in terms of what our students are doing for their access to the English language, I think that is pretty impressive.
Right, like that opens the door, right?
Correct,
Right.
and that's the first step.
And then we just need to figure out.
That's right.
That if it's not a one-to-one, I see the attainment getting much better, and if we don't see the growth on the academic, then
Right.
figuring out that other component, yeah.
Yeah, that continues to be our number one priority right now in terms of our achievement for our district.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have everybody for the student council? Awesome, welcome. I see some familiar faces. Come on up.
Somebody come on out.
Together? Is the green button on for the mic? Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. My name is Zoha Saeed Ali. I'm currently a junior at Ashland High School. At the high school, we're currently underway term 2, so classes are going very well. Currently, as an example of that, in Spanish for honors, we're currently watching a movie in Spanish about the Bolivian water wars in the early 2000s and learning more about human rights from a more Spanish perspective and a more South American perspective, which has been very interesting. And another thing that's also underway at the high school is seniors have started to hear back from colleges, mostly early decision, but also some early action, and that's been very exciting to see where people have been getting in, and has just been a really great experience to see people really happy about that. And another thing is we all would like to thank you for the new sound system that we see in the gym, in the cafeteria, in the auditorium. It has been working really well so far, and it's been a great improvement to the school.
Happy to hear.
Literally.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Yash. I'm a sophomore at Ashland High School, and term 2 has been going pretty good too. In chemistry, we did a lab today on mixing a green powder, copper oxide, and burning it with the Bunsen burner and turning it into a jet black substance. I found that pretty interesting. And going on a more school-wide level, we have Clock or Idol coming up next week. It's pretty interesting to see the participants. I enjoyed watching it last year too, and I'm going to enjoy watching it this year. And tomorrow we have our presentation by Nick Turner on addiction and other diseases, substances, and just to make sure that all students are making great choices.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sophia Wernetsky, and I am a junior. So recently, we had the National Honor Society induction ceremony. 51 new club members were inducted with 49 juniors and 2 seniors, and the club is looking forward to more fundraising in the future. Also, lately, winter sports have started up. For example, there's an Ashland Wrestling Invitational coming up. Also, Winter Track has their first meet tomorrow with a roster of 95 people. And additionally, the swim team has a waiver to have 8th graders on their team, so they're seeing a lot of more participation this year. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, board members. My name is Ojo, and I'm a junior. Right now, the Make-A-Wish Club has been able to do a partnership with Kendra Scott, a popular jewelry brand, which will help them raise money towards their cause. Something else that's been going to be going on in the next few months is the Pen Pal program. I've had the opportunity to be part of this program for 2 years now, where students exchange letters with Japanese students for a few months and then finally get to meet them in person and show them around the school and around their classes. I get to be a part of the program this year too, and I'm excited to see who I meet and who I get to talk to. Lastly, a few weeks ago, AHS had their annual hallway decorating. The freshman theme was space, the sophomore theme was jungle, the juniors theme was Dr. Seuss, and the seniors were Spotify Wrapped. At the end, the juniors won for a 3rd year in a row, and the class of 27 ended up with 126 points, while the senior class ended up with 120 points, so it was still a close race. Thank you.
Thanks, Ojo. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank
We
you, everyone.
really appreciate you coming in and filling us in. All good stuff. Okay, next up, accept Q1 Treasurer's Financial Report.
Yeah, so this is not anything that needs a vote on, but in keeping with the bylaws of the Accept Collaborative, they are supposed to be sending, because I'm the representative of the school committee to the collaborative. And the school committees aren't necessarily part of those meetings. So even this morning, we had our board meeting, and it was a reminder from the executive director that we need to at least present to the school committee the quarterly financial report, but anything that's happening within the collaborative throughout each quarter. And it is just a habit that we're going to get into from the collaborative standpoint, where we have not done that in the past, and for a variety of reasons. But the conversation today was, there's no voting. It's a reference that we have to then be able to provide back to to DESE that the collaborative is actually indeed sharing information from the collaborative. So it's there for you, and it'll be posted with our minutes and in our presentation packet.
Is there anything from a summary perspective we should take away from?
No, what I would say is this, and I will say it more holistically, that we've been frustrated with Accept over the past number of years from a management standpoint, and a number of our students, we've been looking for, the whole purpose of a collaborative is to provide an opportunity for districts to have students who might need out-of-district placements at a lesser cost, right? It's only $4,000 for us to belong to the collaborative, but we get a significant discount, 25% of what it might cost in another setting. But we haven't been really pleased with a lot of our, sending a lot of our students there, not making the growth that we expected. We have a lot of hope, so I guess what I would say is, coming out of even today's meeting, we have a lot of hope for the future.
That's good.
And yeah, very good. Kat Bernklau, who's the interim executive director, but in interim, we gave her a 2-year interim position.
What was her name?
Not a one.
What was her name again?
Kat Bernklau. She was with Medway for a number of years as the director of student services, as well as Wellesley. And she's outstanding. And she's made a significant, when Armin Pyers actually said something positive, it's pretty good from Medway. But that can go on record too, Armin. But he brought that up today, saying there's so much more faith in where we're headed with Accept. So it's in a really good financial position. I guess getting back to the agenda item itself, we're in a really good financial position there. The transportation has always been a struggle, but that's a byproduct of transportation is really costly, and getting students to a variety of stops, coming from Ashland, maybe having to go up to the North Shore. It's a challenge, right? But very good spot. We're in a very good position right now.
Looks like your treasury is in good hands with Ms. Duran.
Barbara is the treasurer, yes.
I was gonna say, the numbers are probably questionable.
Well, they've been reviewed.
At best, a penny off.
The audit report we just got back was glowing as well. Some of the procedures that have been put in place from our past audits. Yep.
Great.
Excellent, thank you. FY '27 preschool tuition rate increase recommendation.
So I will pull up the presentation. And
Got me on that?
do we want the presentation, or do you want, let me see here.
Yeah, let's see, the recommendations are just the spreadsheet on the.
Is this the spreadsheet? Chris is the only thing, and Amanda, she's on here as well. Was it?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I don't know who's speaking to it.
So this is similar to how we presented it last year, which is we're following the similar format. And the recommendation is for a 3% tuition increase over prior year, or this current year. So going into fiscal '27, the intent is to cover operating and salary costs.
I was gonna ask, is it basically, hey, covering
Yes.
the COLA, basically, that,
Yes. Yep.
and that's where the 3% comes from, is
That's
just align
correct.
it with COLA?
Makes sense. Questions?
Yeah, just real quick, on the left-hand part of the first column, left-hand column, excuse me, when it says community peers, full day, half day, what are the numbers? It says 8, 5, 4, 5, who's?
The number of days that those peers attend. So 5 full days, we might have 4 half days.
The
5 half
first one
days.
says 8 community peers,
Yeah,
though,
that's-
so
that's
I
what I
think
was-
that's what's throwing them off.
Oh, I apologize. That's a carry, I apologize, Mark, I'm not,
Because
it's a
the
carryover,
enrollment
I
is,
don't-
the enrollment is the community peers. right?
correct. That's a carryover from prior year spreadsheet that I should have just caught.
Okay, all right, so the enrollment figures of 24, that's all community peers that we're talking about,
That's
right?
correct.
Okay, I think that's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions on that?
No?
Do we
So-
have a motion?
I'll move to approve the recommendation for FY '27 preschool tuition rates as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, next one's me. Hold on.
Warrant approvals, Paul?
Between October 23rd, 2025 and December 10th, 2025, I, Paul Kendall, authorized by my signature payable in the amount of $2,251,904.66.
Yeah.
This includes general fund expenses of $1,125,832.95, revolving expenses of $1,112,647.18, and grant expenses of $13,340.97, and meals tax expenses of $83.56.
Thank you. Superintendent's report?
Yeah, just quickly, a couple things. Thank you for the folks at the table here participating last week in the district review. The Department of Ed was out for the entire week, where they spent numerous hours interviewing teachers, students, administration, school committee members, town manager, and it was really a comprehensive review of the district itself, where they're looking at relationships, where we are financially, what procedures we have in place, but they also took the time to visit, I think, close to 50 classrooms and do observations, where they have their own rubric, if you will, to determine, what they're seeing in the classroom, whether it's instructional, whether it's looking at for an SEL component, et cetera. So this turnaround time is about 3 months in order to get the report, and we'll share that out. They'll send it to me. I have a follow-up meeting with them next Tuesday with the department. So they will come in, present a report, allow us to review it, send back if there's something factual missing, or if we have questions on it, and then we go ahead and we'll accept the final report probably in the March timeframe. And then when we do that, we'll present it to the board. But FYI, that's coming. I want to thank Mike, Brittany, and numerous other folks, Colleen Brewer, who helped with our coordinated program review, which we did last year. But we've been having quarterly, more than quarterly, but monthly updates that we've had to provide to the Department of Ed. It's another audit, if you will, but this focused on special education, civil rights, our student handbooks. I think, as of yesterday, we uploaded our final document. We hope, Michael? We hope. So. But we'll see. But we've sort of taken almost a year, or more than that, almost a year to go back and forth with the department on certain aspects of the coordinating program review. So we're hoping January timeframe was when we had to have everything completed. We're done, we think, as of yesterday, or Monday, when I submitted it. And I guess the last two things. One, obviously, we'll have another meeting tonight about the budget. We're continuing to work on that and continue to have conversations with each department, building principal, et cetera. And the last thing is there will be a letter going out to the community, most likely either this week or early next week, just with regard to fundraising and donations, just so everyone's consistent with our process and understanding the process. Because I've had conversations with certain outside organizations who have made donations to, say, an athletic program. And that athletic program, it was a direct donation from a youth organization, as opposed to going through the Clocker Club, make the donation through the Clocker Club, and then or make it directly to the Ashland Public Schools so we can then expend it properly. So it's just a reminder of process. There's nothing nefarious here. It's just sort of a process of making sure everyone's doing it the same way. If you're donating something to the schools, that it goes through a process where the school committee is required by law to accept it. And similarly, when we have negotiated contracts for coaching stipends, making sure that coaches are paid at the rate that we agreed to. It's okay to donate money to have a coach, an extra coach. But we haven't built that into our budget necessarily, but it needs to go through the proper channels. So it's really just a reminder to folks. So that will be going out.
Yeah, and I think the other component is if you plan to make a donation because you're going to have a fundraising event.
That's right.
For the purpose of that.
That's right.
You still have
and
to
then you said,
get it
right,
approved.
and there's a process, right. So it's just a reminder of all those
We
things.
have policies
Yeah.
on these things. And
Believe me, I'm excited that folks are donating and the youth organizations are donating,
Yeah.
but we just need to make sure that we can account for it all and do it
Sure.
appropriately. So
Okay,
that's it.
thanks. Mike?
So as I said earlier, I do have a pretty large presentation that I'll be giving to the entire committee at a later date. But just a quick teaser for you, Paul, since you talked about English learning. One of the things that we're really concerned about right now in particular is that in math, for instance, we outperformed the state in nearly all areas for our MCAS data, but we saw that there was a 3% dip this year for our English learners, particularly in math. We're not sure exactly what that's related to. It could be the fact that, with the changes in the MCAS, that may have made students a little less motivated. But what we are very concerned about is that we also, for the first time, went 3 percentage points behind the state, which normally isn't the case. So that's just a small glimpse of some of the things I'm going to be talking about in that larger presentation. And what that's all part of, too, is one of the reports that we just did send to the state. We did a pretty significant institutional self-evaluation this year. So you'll be getting sort of a summary of that document when I am able to have the time that is needed for that pretty significant report that will be presented to you about all the data from the district. In terms of just a quick assistant superintendent's report, we did have our first educator evaluation committee meeting to discuss the changes that we're going to be making in our rubric. This work, started last year and has been a long, ongoing process that's been really collaborative between administration and the AEA. We're getting close to coming to an end of the rubric portion of this, and then we'll take the next steps in terms of the other pieces that are involved. But we are almost all the way through Standard 3. We finished Standard 1 and Standard 2. We are almost finished with Standard 3. We're hoping to have that done at our next meeting next Wednesday and get into Standard 4. And then hopefully we can start the next steps to actually get to a rubric approval and make some significant changes in the educator evaluation process for the district. Other just great things to announce. The Ashland Music Department is proud to announce the following students will represent the Ashland community in the 25-26 Massachusetts Central District Music Festival. These students were selected through a rigorous audition process comprised of over 70 schools and over 1,000 student applicants. So we want to congratulate the following students for being accepted for chorus: Eric Alita, Caroline Diamond, Gabby Illen. For band, Jonah Bloom, Millie Jayswal, Rebecca Kriegsman, Daniel Lee, Sabrina Lynn, Hasini Reddy, Neha Ruthramurthy, and Kaya Smits, and for orchestra, Andrew Martin. And in addition, the following students, based on their high scores in the district level audition, were given an all-state recommendation, which allows them to audition in January for potential placement in the All-State Music Festival, which happens in March, and that is Caroline Diamond, Gabby Illen for chorus, Millie Jayswal, Daniel Lee, and Neha Ruthramurthy for band, and Andrew Martin in orchestra. And in addition, Acadec had their first competition on quite a while ago, since we have last met, but that was in Nipmuc, and 16 students competed, and they won at least one subject award in their GPA bracket. And some of these students that won special awards and recognition are Gautam Rajesh, Shrutrika Senthukumar, Sid Mehta, Manav Lad, Nick Novak, Hasini Reddy, Neha Ruthramurthy, who you can continue to hear today, Aditya Karthik, our own Abhishek Karthik, Yash Ahuja, Sanya Muthuswamy, and Zia Kashwan. So congratulations to all those students who are representing Ashland well.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Thank you, Mike. Okay, superintendent's goals.
I did not receive any feedback other than,
Nor did I.
right, so all the goals that I presented at the last meeting, just ask that you approve, so I can post those and continue to work on them.
Keep it consistent.
You want me to do it? I move to approve the goals for the superintendent for the 25-26 school year as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent, thank you.
I assume the next one is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
a
repeat.
duplicate, yeah.
That's a repeat. We took care of that, so we're on to the consent agenda. We have a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I think that's it.
Down to reports.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
We've got 13 minutes. I mean, you might as well use them.
Tell us what you've been up to, Marcy.
Parenting.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've met since the Make-A-Wish trip, so I just want to thank everyone thank you for chaperoning, and thank all the students who went in the club, and it continues to be just like such a magical experience for all the kids and families who go, and I just really commend everyone for doing it. It's great.
Thank you.
I don't have a ton to update on. I did, last Friday, the Ashland High School Band had their holiday music movie concert, and the Ashland Music Association has started to do a fundraiser before, so they do, it's really for the little kids that come with some crafts and games and stuff. We had Elsa come to join us this year, which was a lot of fun. And then a couple weeks ago, there was a middle school and high school concert that I attended, and one thing that really stood out to me is one of the middle school students composed one of the pieces that the middle school band played, which was really cool. So I thought that was a lot of fun. So, yeah.
I'm probably missing things, but I don't have a lot. Obviously, we did have town meeting since our last meeting. It was pleasantly very quick. I think everything passed unanimously, which is, I think, the first time I've ever experienced that. Even like the budget, sometimes we'll get a no, or a single no or something like that, but other than that, I'm good.
And one thing would be what you mentioned earlier, Jim, just participation in the district review, interviewing with consultants or whatever we call them, hired by DESE, which was an interesting process to go through. You know, and just Marcy and I met with them, one person together while you were in another room, Lori, and yeah, they said interesting process. They certainly were doing a lot of examination about relationships and how things work, and felt like I was almost being too positive because I felt like they might be saying, "You're kidding, right?" You know, but we'll see when we get the report. So, but other than that, I don't know.
We did highlight too, it's worth mentioning, that one of the best parts of the school committee meeting is the students coming to the school committee meeting, and I offered that before they asked about that, so it's great. Go, check the box.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking about that as well. I did do that, as Mark said. I went to site council yesterday. There was a really healthy discussion about the budget situation. I don't know if you've asked for it to be on the agenda at every site council meeting, or if principals are just taking the lead, and but they're trying to sort of follow up with our discussions that we're having on the wider scale, and Jim's been around to the buildings, and so at least at our site council at Warren, it was shared with the parents in the room, and they had a lot of really excellent questions about it, and that's what we talked about most of the time. Make-A-Wish trip, amazing. The best part about it always is the feedback that we get from the staff at Make-A-Wish, but also we almost never come home without getting letters from somebody, so either a parent that we met who our kids really impacted, or you know, somebody from the outside always writes to the district and says like, "Oh my goodness, your students," and a great group of kids. And I was sharing with Jim the other day. You know, and at this point, I've had the chance to travel with all of your kids, which has been an amazing experience. Like, we just really have such a diverse, amazing group of students that we should be so proud of them out in the world. I mean, that's been one of the joys of the opportunities that I've had to spend time with them. I'm a grandma now. Like, do I look different than the last meeting? Today's my son's birthday. He's 31. I mean, that's what's going on over here. Other than that, that's it. Yeah.
I feel terrible, I forgot to add this one thing in my report. We had an event today at the middle school, and we need to recognize the folks who are working with our launch program, specifically Cassia Ashman, who's done such a tremendous job with our students who are in our 18 to 22 program. They hosted a movie event for all of our specialized programs throughout the district. So our students were bussed over, and our launch students were the employees of the movie theater, and they sold popcorn and snacks and tickets, and all of the students in the specialized programs were given money to pay for their treats. And it was, when I was on my way out to go visit Mendez, the students were arriving, And the excitement that was in the air was contagious. And it was just an amazing event, and I'm so grateful that we are able to offer all of our students this opportunity, but specifically be able to provide the opportunity for our launch students to have this sort of leadership opportunity and get them ready for the workforce. So it was really a special day today.
That's great.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's a good one. Anybody else before? Oh.
Just for folks who are entering into the school committee meeting now, if you're looking to participate in the tri-board meeting, there's a separate link that you'll find under the Town of Ashland's website under their agenda for this evening. I see some different names on here that normally haven't checked in with us, so if that's what you're looking to do, there is a separate link that you'll have to log into for the Zoom session.
You'll be able to find it on the town website, or right next to this meeting, right after this meeting. It's
So are
listed.
we adjourning this meeting and then
We are.
reopening another?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll move to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, good night.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't want, there were some people